Today's quilt inspiration for making a card comes from a gorgeous quilt that I picked up at a garage sale. This hangs above my sofa and has for many years. It's Titus, stamping in the back porch. And this is a series on taking a quilt and making cards from it. So it's about quilt cards too. But first, a story. I feel so sad that I've been able to pick up such wonderful quilts at flea markets and garage sales, because you just wonder who should have treasured them first. But this particular story happened many years ago, and it was at a garage sale, and there was a woman in her 80s who had made this quilt. And then it was her daughter and her granddaughter, all adults, doing this garage sale together. And I just felt so sad that neither her daughter or granddaughter had saved aside this quilt. But I know the woman was thrilled that I got it because I was so interested in it. I asked so many questions, and she showed me. She had put masking tape over parts that kind of needed to be restitched because she just wasn't happy with how they turned out. I gave her my address and I said, drive by my house anytime. I am buying it to put above my sofa, and so you will see it there anytime. Now, if this were today, I would have thought to write down the address of the house and sent her a thank you. I really would have loved to have done that. I'd even send her one of these. I would have no idea. But I just know she was glad that it had a happy ending and that it was coming to me. But it's always with, gifts like this are such amazing treasures. So one of the things I love about this quilt, it's all kinds of different patterns, but it has a very masculine effect. There are lots of plaids and earth tone colors, browns and navies. And I think it just makes a gorgeous thing. And it isn't finished. I told her I wasn't going to have it quilted because I was going to be using it as a hanging. So I think of that woman often, and I think that's one of the treasures about having a quilt. You know, the story behind it really matters, and you do think of those people. So now I'm going to show you. I've made two cards here. So this one I'll show you I did it, so I'm actually using the very same pattern, and I went through my card scraps and picked out plaids and kind of different earth tones. So this is what we're going to make. So it's really awesome about this pattern is, as you can see, now this one is a little more true to form because I actually did the darks around there. I did it exactly like the quilt was. This one I was doing on a live, and I just got a little sidetracked, so I just put them anywhere. But I think they both look really lovely. So to start with these, I'm going to just pick something to go in the middle. I'm just going to do the parts. And if you notice, this pattern is all squares and triangles, and those are made with the squares cut in half. So to do this, I started with the center, and then I did the 4 areas going out. And I'm not going to do this one according to any pattern either. It's just a lot easier when you're on live to not be too sidetracked. I have learned that, this is even a video. It's not even live. What am I saying? But it's just easier to just kind of talk and work and not have too many things. So you'll just notice I'm doing these. And let's see, I'm looking for another pattern I haven't used yet. Okay, so I have these 4 things on. And then working out from there, you see I'm going to have triangles. So I'm going to take my triangles and just cut them. So I'm going to do a few, here, and I am just hand cutting these. And some have other sides that we can use too. And then there are all kinds of other colors. Okay, let's see, we'll do one more, and that will get me started here. And then as I build through these going down this way are coming out this way. You see, I'm just going to take these all and make and have these parts come out. So the next part of what you'll notice here is going to be this design. Do these in all 4 corners. Let me see. I gotta have more cut here. But this is exactly how I made these quilts. Just kind of look to see what I need next and then put that on. Okay, so then those are done. Then facing around this other way, I put lighter ones on, which is basically how the quilt was done. So I'm just gonna go around and fill in. I haven't planned this all out ahead of time other than knowing that this is basically how I'm gonna do it. Let's see what else here. This one's a lighter one. And this one's another lighter one. So I'm just trying to get a lot of mixes in here. These are great scrap cards. Hardly makes a dent in your pile of scraps. But boy, it uses up a lot of just fun little bits, you know. We are often collectors as well as card makers because we collect our paper just like we collect fabric if you're a quilter. And this is just a fun way to use it up. So the last thing I'm going to do here is just add. So you can see how I've done that. And now I'm going to do, it will be one more layer all the way around. So if you notice, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my 4 larger pieces out here, the full squares, and then I will fill in. Still looking, I know there's ones in here I haven't used, so I'm trying to, here, well, this one we haven't used. And the thing that's awesome about just like quilting, you can cover little mistakes, you know, at least if you're a quilter like me, I cover almost, you see, then I'm going to go in and do my triangles all the way out, and it's going to fill the card up to this. Now I'm using 3/4 of an inch pieces, squares. You could use 1 inch and it would just be larger. 1/2 inch would be smaller. So this is a bit of an oversized card, but I really liked how this is framed, and I wanted to do the full square without it being too giant. Now this would also done if you did this in a little larger, like say a 1 inch square. These would make really lovely little wall decor to framed art. Anyway, I just think this is really a fun idea, a fun pattern, and just think it is just done with squares and squares cut in half. So if you enjoy quilt cards, here's another one coming up right here.